Hey guys, hope you're having a happy 1st of July. I already filmed this video once and didn't like it, so I'm filming it again. This is the completed 2,000 points of Sisters with a little bit of Flotsam and Jetsam in the back as well. I ended up taking this to an ITC tournament, to International Tournament Convention or something like that. And had they had a better general, I think these sisters would have done okay. They were definitely were not an overpowered army by any stretch of the imagination. But I'll show you what I had, what I took with me, and how it fared in battle. But first, the HQ, I took Celestine and her two BFFs, and then one Canoness with an Inferno pistol and a Eviscerator. Ugh, come on, better camera work there. And a Canoness with just the standard bolt pistol and the relic sword, the blade of not the admonition, but the blade of choppiness, which was it was pretty good. It's strength 5, D3. The Eviscerator is strength 6, damage D3. I'm sorry, the damage for the sword was 3, just straight up 3. And then Celestine's got her blade of choppiness, which is strength 7, damage 2. And then just power sorted girls. They did okay. I really could have used Celestine a lot better. I tended to throw her away early on. The Canonesses, they did okay. They really didn't get into combat until the second game, which they did pretty good. One of them wiped out a whole squad of Blood Angels, and the other one chopped up at least one character, if not two. But the third game is where they charged a couple of Demon Princes and sliced them and diced them. This one especially shot a Demon Prince in the face with the Inferno pistol and got 6 damage and just blew it out of its sandals. But overall, Celestine is good if you know how to use her. So of course I didn't do any good with her. The Canonesses, for what they cost, is not much. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, this one was 63 points, something like that, with an Inferno pistol and a Eviscerator. And that's 4 attacks, weapon skill 2, shooting skill 2, all that. Just really, they did pretty well. They were teamed up with 3 units of troops, because I did run a battalion. There you've got your Sister Superior with a chainsword and plasma pistol, Stormbolter, and a heavy flamer. One of these with one of the Canonesses would go into a transport, one of the immolators. I had a larger unit here with, again, chainsword and plasma pistol, Stormbolter, and this had a multi-melta, and then 5 standard girls. And then one of the other Canonesses would go into the Rhino with them. And then 1 unit of 6, again, multi-melta, Stormbolter, chainsword and plasma pistol. And they would all go into the transports. I ran 3 immolators with twin heavy bolters and a Rhino with a Stormbolter. The Rhino basically just drove around and got shot at, because I never really used it to deliver troops up, which again, I think that was a fault of my generaling. I should have really been more aggressive with my troops. They were a decent point value, but also for what they deliver a lot of bolt shots and some heavy weapons up front. So that I should have used them more, but I didn't. I used them to camp objectives and then get blown up at long range fire. Let's see, I ran 3 heavy support. I used 2 Exorcist tanks, which again, there are the 2 finished Exorcists. They turned out pretty well painted. For fighting, they were lackluster, because it's D6 shots, and so you might get to shoot some, you might not. And it's weapon skill 3, but if you move them, it drops it down to a 4 because it's a heavy weapon. And so you might, if you have to retreat, you might retreat, get 1 shot on a 4-up, and that's 50-50 if you hit or not. And if you get, I got the 6 shots, I think twice out of 3 different battles where these things were they usually survived to the end anyway. And never really did a load of wounds with them, even though they're strength 8, AP 4, and then the damage is D3, so it's too much random to be effective. This I also ran the most valuable unit of this was the Retributors here, where I ran 4 heavy bolters with a pretty much just a standard sister as a Sister Superior, and teamed them up with an Imagifer, lady with bones on a stick. Basically, she would give them the 4-up Act of Faith at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of each turn, and so that would get me an extra round of 12 heavy bolter shots into somebody, and that actually proved pretty effective. I caused the guy I fought Flesh Terrors group of Blood Angels descendants in the second battle, and they blew a complete unit of Flesh Terrors off the board because he forgot to charge with them his charge phase, and we were already like 3 fights into it before he realized it, or else I'd have let him go again. I had 2 fast attack, the Seraphim. I use them basically to do in-game missions where you plop 1 in each table corner and you get a point per turn if you did that, and would have worked really good in the first game, except I kept forgetting to bring them in and they didn't really do anything. So again, that was my fault. And last but not least, I took the big sister, the Night Crusader, with 20 Icarus autocannons, 2 heavy stubbers, a heavy flamer with the heavy Gatling gun, and one of the heavy stubbers on the rapid fire battle cannon. This thing proved really good, especially in the Blood Angels fight, because he didn't really have anything that could crack it, so he ignored it and started going after everything else. And so I walked forward and tap danced a couple times on some people, and did okay. But again, I went 0-3 in the tourney because I just haven't played enough to know what the heck I'm doing. I held back too much when it came to shooting, and the other guys I played just knew what they were doing. Those 3 things combined just did not bode well for me. Mostly what I learned from it is that I'm not the tournament type. I like to paint more than I like to play, and even though I do enjoy playing, and I like playing fun, relaxed games where you're not under pressure to win. You're more just going to have a good time and laugh at the bad die rolls. But anyway, for now, for Sisters of Battle, if you wanted to take like a small battalion detachment to get some points, I mean, let's see, those 3 things plus the 2 canoness ladies would probably do pretty good, because you get a 3-up armor save, 3-up weapon skill for most of these ladies, and the canonesses help them reroll 1s. So that, I mean, if you're in need of CPs and you've got the metal models laying around, that's fine. But honestly, the cost point, not only points but also monetarily, you're better off fielding guard or something as a battalion detachment. Anyway. On to the next thing for me. I'm going to take a break from Warhammer for a little bit, and I'm going to paint something that's completely different. I've got my Kingdom Death out because I promised the war boss that I would paint up the lion for him, and we'll see how that goes. I've got to get everything out and clip it off the sprue and dig through everything. I mean, you can kind of see I got the box open at least. You can see it's still on the packaging. I've taken it out and looked through it once, but it's just finding time to get into things is just it's a fun and exciting challenge. But anyway, one last look around the desert here. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are getting more time to paint and to play than I am, and I will see you later. Adios.